Hey everyone, I'm back again and very grateful as usual to have you guys tuning in to today's message. And today it's another one, every single one of these messages is definitely coming from my own growth and my own, just diving into my own world really and figuring out where I stand and how to get more connected to what's actually right for me. And I'm going to dive into a bunch of that, particularly for all of you guys who may or may not struggle with feelings of guilt. I'm going to really dive into this one with you guys in the hope that it serves you as much as it serves me to share it with you guys. All right, so today's message is to welcome in the new whilst honoring what you must let go of, and I'm talking about doing it totally guilt-free. And I know most of the clients that I work with, definitely myself and definitely people who are close to me that I get the ins and outs of their lives, this concept of struggling with guilt tends to be a pretty big one, particularly for a lot of the women that I work with, but I know that this is definitely both ways, men and women. And there's lots of reasons for that, which I won't go into the rabbit hole today. But at the end of the day, this concept around guilt can hold us back so much. And I want to share with you guys a different perspective on what guilt is and how to actually use it for your advantage, if you can believe that or not. All right. So definitely want to check in. Happy Monday to you, Caden. Great to have you live. And I can see Jessica and Judy. For some reason, I can't see everybody. I don't know why that is. But anyway, let's dive into it. So this is a great time to be thinking about welcoming in the new, right? We've had a major challenge in sweeping the globe, whether you wanted it or you didn't want it. At the end of the day, something's changing, right? So it's a really great time to welcome in the new, but we need to realize what we simultaneously need to let go of that is preventing us from being able to welcome in the new. It's kind of like a death of the old and a birth of the new. That's what we can be in at any time, but I feel like we've all got this kind of opportunity right now where we've been thrown into this kind of mix. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about is the intentions behind why you do what you do. All right, the intentions behind, the things that you want to start and create that new pathway with, and the intentions behind why you resist letting things go. All right, and this is where the concept of guilt can definitely play out. So oftentimes, when we all know what the feeling of guilt is, right? The guilt is this, feeling bad about upsetting another person, hurting another person, affecting another person in a negative way. You can also feel guilt for doing that to yourself. But at the end of the day, most of us are feeling a sense of guilt because we are overvaluing and taking too much responsibility and care for another person at the detriment of our own responsibility, health, and care. Okay, and so that's what I want you to remind yourself of, because for those of us who struggle with the concept of guilt, which is been a big piece of my journey until I have brought more conscious awareness around this pattern of my behavior and how I make my decisions, and how much that's tripped me up, and knowing that when I make a decision from a place of guilt, never works out well for me, right? Because if you make a decision from a place of guilt, what are you doing? You are being over responsible for how you're impacting another person, and you're simultaneously being under responsible for what's healthy and right for you. You're more worried about what other people will think of you, if you're a good person or not, versus being in alignment, being authentic, being truthful to your own path and your own fulfillment, despite the repercussions in your external world. All right, so that's why making decisions from a place of guilt never works in the long term. You might sort of in the short term feel like, oh, okay, you navigated that, you didn't upset that person. But at the end of the day, if it's at the detriment of what's right for you, you are upsetting someone, you're upsetting yourself, all right? And you're the one who's going to bear that responsibility. You're the one who's trapped in that experience. And over time, you might think, making decisions from a place of guilt makes you a good person, right? But it doesn't. It makes you a very inauthentic person who's so worried actually about getting hurt yourself. That's why you're trying to mitigate and manage other people's perceptions of you in your external world. And that's the only reason why you would be making these unhealthy decisions that are for yourself, because you're overly focused on how you're perceived in the external world. So when you get that wake-up call and you let that kind of sink in, you realize that you're actually being quite selfish with the decisions that you're making from a place of guilt. And it does not make you a good person. It makes you a very self-sacrificing person. And, that's not a good thing. If you are sacrificing what's true for you, what's healthy for you, what's fulfilling for you, what's inspiring for you as an individual, you're sacrificing the whole purpose of your life. You weren't born to show up and just, be inauthentic and be people-pleasing and trying to mitigate people's perceptions of you that aren't even true. You were here and you were born to walk your own path, to listen into that internal wisdom, to know what feels right and what doesn't feel right to you, to align your decisions from that place despite how other people may or may not perceive you in your external world. And only going down that path are you actually able to do what we're talking about today, which is to welcome in the new whilst honoring what you must let go of. Okay, and you might look at this in terms of relationships, right? You might, if you're anything like me, oh my gosh, have I done this pattern way too many times that I'd like to admit? Then, to stay in or even to enter into relationships or stay in relationships based on this underlying feeling of you don't want to be too honest with them because it might hurt their feelings. And there's always a payoff, right? I've since realized just recently with my own growth as usual, as I reflect back into my past patterns and I take what's valuable and what's a lesson here, I've actually since realized that I've entered relationships that were very much had a payoff for me in terms of my need to feel wanted and to feel valuable by other people. I would allow somebody else who I hadn't decided or filtered through what it is that I want or what it is that I don't want. I'd allowed somebody to come into my sphere and really make me feel so special, and it had actually, the payoff had been for that neediness that I'd had, which is to feel valuable. So, I'd sacrifice what was ultimately true for me on a deeper level, and I'd strategically on a subconscious level do a very good job at being hugely idealistic to the point where I didn't see any bads. I only saw all the goods, and that was in an attempt to fulfill a need that really I needed to be fulfilling for myself, but I was blind to it. Now I'm more aware of it, and ultimately by noticing that kind of pattern, and then, as the relationship ticked on and I started to get more and more clear about, hang on a minute, I think I've made a mistake here, this isn't quite right, or not even a mistake, but, in the future, our paths are going to be different, this is not the path I want to be on, getting to that point, feeling overwhelmed with guilt and being overly concerned about how that other person was going to feel and all this sort of stuff would prevent me from actually just going, you know what, this is what's healthy for me and this is what needs to happen. This is the welcoming in of the new and the letting go of what you need to let go of, all right? And all because I was connected to that sense of guilt, being over responsible for another person's feelings, which really underneath that is really just me trying to manage their perception of me so that I can feel like they think I'm a good person, right? There's lots of depth to us human beings, even though we feel so good on the outside, right? And simultaneously, I was sacrificing what was true for me, what was healthy for me, and what was right for me, all because I had a neediness that I wasn't fulfilling for myself. that need to be of value, I wasn't providing for myself. I was needing somebody else to meet that need for me. And so I'd sacrifice what was true for me so that I could get that need fulfilled, but it would end up being at the sacrifice for what was actually ultimately healthy for me. So that's why I've been talking to you guys recently also about needs, right? What are the universal needs and how are you needy towards other people? Because when you identify how you're needy towards other people, you actually give yourself a ticket towards freedom and liberation by knowing where the work is that you need to do personally for yourself. So for my pattern that I've just shared with you was what was really underneath it at the basis. It's not about, make another list of who you want to be in relationship with. No. That's so surface level. What was really driving my choices and decisions was an unfulfilled need that I was not fulfilling for myself, and I was seeking in the external. And so needs are needs for a reason. We all need them fulfilled. But if you're not fulfilling them for yourself, you're going to go to external sources. You're going to get your needs met at the expense of what's true and healthy for you, because needs come first. So my sense of neediness around feeling valuable was because I wasn't making myself feel valuable as a human being. All right. I was seeking that validation externally rather than knowing that was a deep need for me, and knowing that, I could trace it back to, every experience that I've ever had. I can trace it back. I can understand it. And then I could go, okay, now I get why I've got this pattern. And now I know that pattern is costing me through these types of experiences. And I choose to be more consciously aware than that. I choose to be aware and I choose to transform. So I choose to be fulfilled. All right. And so by knowing what's driving your patterns of behavior and owning that, and then creating your own fulfillment of your own needs that you've previously been needy around, then and only then are you going to set yourself free from guilt. You're going to set yourself free from doing anything at the expense of what's right and healthy and true for you. You're also going to be able to welcome in the new that's really your pathway forward, that deep down in your soul is absolutely right for you. And you're going to be able to let go of those things that you also know deep down you must let go of. Okay, this is really, really empowering if you guys get this message. And remember, guilt is a sign of that over responsibility for others, and it's at the detriment of your own responsibility for yourself and your health and your truth. Okay. And remember also that if you're not letting go because you feel guilty, you're simply neglecting your own well-being. Okay. So ask yourself today, what is it in my life that I need to welcome in, that would inspire me? What is it that makes me feel truly alive? How could I envision my future? And what actually matters to me? When you get clear on that, right, that's very compelling to you. And then you ask yourself, well, what currently in my life is in the way of this? What do I actually need to let go? And be completely transparent and honest with yourself. Through that self-honesty comes the answers that you really need to hear. And when you identify what's not in alignment with what's actually truly enlivening to your soul, what you're inspired by the kind of future that you want to create, and you notice what's in conflict with that vision that you have, and you realize that you need to let that stuff go, and then ask yourselves, why you have resistance around letting it go. If you've got guilt there, remember what I've said today. You're being over responsible for managing other people's perceptions of you, and you're being under responsible for your own future, your own fulfillment, your own health, and your own truth. Okay? And remember that if you truly want to be of service to people, if you truly want to be, helpful to other people, if you truly want to make people feel the best that they can through your influence, you must be in alignment. You can't sacrifice anything. I don't care how well-intentioned your intentions are, right? They're just not going to be good, and they're not going to be healthy if they're at the sacrifice of your truth. So anything that helps you transcend, unhealthy patterns from your past, right? Like what I've just spoken to you about, which is just one of my patterns. We've all got a bunch. That's the right path. And anything that keeps you hooked in the patterns of your past, albeit seemingly, that healthy disguise, that's the wrong path. All right, so just bear that all in mind. Really want to dive in with you guys and check out who's been able to join me. Have you got any questions or comments or words of wisdom or experience that you want to contribute to the conversation? I always appreciate you guys showing up and getting to engage with you. So let me check in and see who's been able to join. And please do share this message with anybody that you feel would find it valuable. Anybody that you can see suffering from guilt, who holds themselves back so much in their life, who gets stuck in past patterns, who doesn't let go of the things that they need to let go of, and they're not welcoming in the new and fulfilling life that they could be welcoming in. If any of that sits in with people that you know in your life, please do share it. It's the greatest gift that you can give to me, and hopefully it serves them. That's the point. All right, so Jessica is here, and Judy and Caden, and Jay's here. Awesome. And Caden, yes, indeed, self-guilt is an antithesis of self-love. Overvaluing the opinions of others is self-toxic. Absolutely. Like you've got to realize that when you choose your truth and what's healthy, even if it isn't what the other person wants, it is the best, healthiest decision, most self-loving, most loving for them decision you could ever make. Why? Because you role model what it looks like to be truthful and honest and authentic. And anything less than authentic, truthful depth is not really connection at all anyway. And if somebody's not happy for you to choose what's healthy for you, you don't want them, right? Great filtering process. All right. So absolutely love what you've just shared there, Caden. So true. And Sunny's back. Awesome. Intentions. Passion is the only answer. I believe we are all put on this in this life to be champions, to make others' lives better. For me, place of guilt can also can be looked at more from positive mindset. What if I don't start a company or anything else I can do that can help someone? I love that, Sunny. Absolutely, and, I have that strong core belief as well, because I really do believe that unless we are growing and feeling a sense of personal progress and feeling as though we can contribute and make a meaningful difference in the lives of others on whatever scale, we don't actually feel fulfilled as human beings, right? So I do absolutely believe in what you're saying there. And and then, challenging yourself to get beyond your current sphere of comfort. Welcome in the new. Life is ever changing. Be willing to let go of what's not in alignment with the future that you want to create, and make sure that that future is in your personal growth and your contribution and connection with other amazing human beings. That's the ticket to freedom. That's the ticket to fulfillment. So love that, Sunny. And Caden, self-sacrifice, ouch, so true. Well put. You got it, my friend. Love that this is resonating. And Riggs here as well. And Jose from Canada. Awesome to see you. And Caden, hindsight is 2020. You're a caring person, which is so beautiful. Thank you, my friend. But yes, draw that line and protect yourself from others' judgments. You're already beyond good enough. So much love and appreciation for you, Caden. And I think that goes for every single person in humanity, to just get that message like you just shared, Caden, that you're already beyond good enough. Stop trying to prove that to the external world. Stop trying to get something from the external world. And when you do notice that you are trying to get something from some external source, that's beautiful. Be aware of that, because that's your ticket to your own personal progress, like we talked about, your own growth and your ability to actually contribute and connect at the highest levels. So I love that, Caden. You are such an amazing superstar that I so appreciate. And Lee's here as well. And Caden, key, you set yourself free. Boom, absolutely. And Ram's here as well. Hello to you. And Heath and Caden, I completely changed once I respected myself enough to drop the opinions of others. I've been subconsciously repeating to myself for years. I can now hear my truth clearer than ever, feeling free as a bird. Wow, I absolutely love hearing that, Caden. That absolutely just touches my heart, because that's the experience that I want every single one of us to be able to have. You know, like in the words of the amazing Dr. John D. Martini, to be able to turn down the volume in the external world so you can turn up the volume on your internal world. Align everything from the inside out rather than the outside in. That's your ticket, like we keep saying, to freedom and to fulfillment. So I love that. And Caden, this is such an important subject. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Grateful that to have you live and that this one resonated. And yeah, I picked up what you were putting down there, Caden. That's awesome. And Dawn is here as well. Awesome to see you as well. All right. Really hope today's message has served you. All you guys who are joining now, please catch a recording, get a ton of value from today's message. Please do share this. And also, you know, just really do remember that you've got to welcome in the new whilst honoring what you must let go of, and do it guilt-free. Analyze your resistance. Why is it that you're resistant to doing the healthy thing? You know what's right for you. You know what's healthy for you. Get clear on it, and then understand what your resistance is. It's always connected to something that you're getting from the external world. So you're willing to sacrifice what's healthy for you to get those needs met. But ultimately, you're never going to be free. You're never going to be fulfilled. And you're never going to be living your own life until you identify where that neediness is and you go about fulfilling that for yourself, so that you can be living from the inside out rather than the outside in, and you can be living authentically and aligning with what inspires you. All right, this is important. All right, so I hope you guys have got it. I hope it's been of value to you. And as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. And Dawn, I need to listen, just got on, so grateful. Always beautiful. Hope you get a ton of value from it. I'm on day 2 of this amazing cleanse, by the way. Highly recommend. I just want to do a shout out again to the medical medium, Anthony Williams. Look him up on Facebook. He's got a brilliant Facebook page here, on Instagram, and definitely check out one of his books. Currently, I'm going through Cleanse to Heal. I'm trying to just look after my insides so well at the highest capacity, and I'm really, really enjoying his 369 advanced cleanse in that book. So all of you guys who want to up level to the next level of your health, and it's perfect timing right now with the lockdown, you know, to be in your home, to be going through this, I'm feeling amazing, and I'm only on day 2, and I'm just, all my cells just feel like they're getting all the nutrients that they actually need and that I've been neglecting. So if you want to reset, I highly recommend checking out his work, and particular Cleanse to Heal book. And then I'm about to do my F45 session. So make sure you guys are looking after your body. It's the vessel to do all this great stuff in the world. You can't create a fulfilling life if you're not looking after your health. All right. So, and that's on every level: physical, mental, emotional, and your spiritual health. All right. So hope this has served. Sending you guys all of my love. Thank you so much for joining me live and contributing to the conversation. You guys rock, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. And thank you for that kind compliment, Caden. Appreciated. Good to have you.